media like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the rest of them to spread this information, because a lot of people will just feel that, I mean, it's just talk. Nobody's really going to do anything. Do you have, accounts on any of these social media platforms that, if a consumer, for instance, feels like his or her rights have been trampled on, can go make a complaint and make sure and have that complaint attended to? It's not that you're just going to make a complaint and it's just going to be there.
No, thank you. I quite understand that flyers alone won't do it. As a matter of fact, I wasn't saying that it's only flyers that we are coming up with. As we've had so many other ways in which we are educating the consumer. The present administration of CPC is one that is very, very keen on the use of the social media. And so both at our head office and at our Lagos office, the CPC is presently on Facebook, it's on Twitter, it has its email, it has its website running. And I think that Nigerians are being carried along. But why I talked about the flyers is it's been something that we have been doing. But in addition to that, we now have the social media because we are very conscious of the fact that consumers must hear us. Apart from the television, apart from the use of the newspapers and, of course, the radio, we are also doing as much as going to churches. And that's how we think that the information should really be spread. Those who are not hearing it on television should get it on social media. Those who are not getting it on social media should get it in our market sensitizations, that we do regularly at marketplaces, including churches and mosques.
Okay, could you just, if you can, just tell us the address of your either your account on Twitter, Facebook, or your website as well?
Yes, thank you. The website of the CPC is www.cpc.gov.ng. And of course, CPC NG is our Facebook. On Twitter, you'll get us at CPC NIG. You'll get us at the national level. In Lagos here, of course, we have a phone number 081 4717 0730. You can reach us, and you can reach us, of course, on Facebook, CPC Lagos Office. That's our Facebook. And on Twitter, we are at CPC Lagos Office. So these are social media addresses that you can easily.
Okay, so if, for instance, I have a problem as a consumer and I want to lay a complaint, how many hours will it take before my complaint is addressed, for instance?
Well, as a matter of policy, we ensure that our complaints are redressed quickly.
How quickly?
Like I said, the law says speedy redress. But many factors come into how soon a matter is addressed. For instance, sometimes you write a letter, and that letter could stay in the post office for 1 week or 2 weeks. But as a council, we make sure that within a minimum of 3 weeks and or 1 month, every matter is resolved.
Sorry to cut you here, Mr. Salmon Okobia. If we're living in a jet age where we use technology to, as much as possible, do everything that we do in our daily life, why would we write a letter and post it when we can send an email to make sure that nobody, because you can't lose such a letter in transit. You send an email to whichever party or parties are concerned in the case that you're trying to investigate to ensure that you get a speedy reply, because the consumer can't wait all day, and which is the reason why they seem not to have so much faith in the CPC.
No, I agree with you entirely. The truth of the matter is that not many Nigerians are on the social media you are talking about.
No, not necessarily social media.
Email, to even get an email address when a complainant comes, what we find out is that a complainant is telling you, I do not have an email. In fact, that will solve our problem. That will ease all our problems. If every complainant that comes has an email, and the person against whom is complaining has an email address to whom we can just sit in our office and send them. If that were so, then I can assure you that within a matter of days, cases will be resolved. But we are quite aware that the literacy level in Nigeria is not that very high. And because of that, not many Nigerians are on the social media that we are talking. So we must give room to those who would want to come to the office to write their complaint longhand or send us a letter. And we have a duty to such people as well. So for such people, their letters will have to be posted as it is today. But I will tell you that the number is reducing gradually with the introduction of the social media that we've gone into.
Okay, now we're celebrating Fix Your Phone Rights. And as a consumer in Nigeria, you talked about the fact that right now a lot of consumers are facing challenges in terms of dropped calls, unsolicited messages, and the rest of it. Why does that keep happening? Is it that we don't have somebody to regulate this? Because fine, everybody is trying as much as possible to market their business and the rest of it, and they feel that that's the best way to go about it. But there are still some messages that you get that are totally very unnecessary for you to get those messages. Where does the CPC come in all of this? Already you said that the compendium has been released, and you've tried as much as possible to meet at a table with most of the CEOs and MDs of some of the telecoms companies. But then it's almost like it's a tug of war you are at right now. Now, what would the CPC be doing that in the next couple of months? All these things that we're beginning to experience, it's not easy anywhere. The challenges of getting infrastructure, funding, and the rest of it affects everybody across the board. And the telecom sector is not on its own in this as well. But how would the CPC be? What would the CPC be doing to ensure that, even in spite of all of this, at least they should find some form of comfort? Because some people that we spoke with, some people complaining that you buy airtime for a certain amount of money, maybe like 200 naira worth of airtime, and then you don't get to use it for up to 5 minutes and it's gone, and no explanation whatsoever, and so they're feeling cheated. So the Consumer Protection Council has a duty to protect Nigerians who feel cheated.
Exactly. I think you're correct. They have a duty indeed to expect the CPC and government, for that matter, to really protect them. I would answer your question from the angle first of the providers. They believe that there are so many challenges in doing business in Nigeria. And so because of these challenges, they are not able to provide the quality of service that Nigerians ought to get. And we are saying at Consumer Protection Council, we have not heard that any of these sector providers has folded up because of these challenges. Instead, what we hear is that they are making enormous profits. Now, if you are making profits, why is it that it is the consumer that should continue to be on the losing side and being cheated by you? So we are not taking this matter lightly. Our position is that the consumer should be compensated for his. It is the reason why they're in business. It is the consumer that gives the reason why they're in business, and so they must do more than they're doing. Telling us or telling consumers about the challenges is not enough. We all knew about these challenges before we went into the business, and so there should be a way out. And that's why, like I said, my DG is calling the managing directors, and at the next meeting she's calling, our insistence is that the managing directors and the CEOs themselves must attend, because we must find a way out. Thereafter, we will go into serious investigation, and where there are complaints and we carry out serious investigations, sanctions will be applied. We are working with, of course, the sector regulator, NCC, and they agreed on this matter. You'll find out the minister herself has been on the air with our DG on the issues of how to protect the consumer. So the Consumer Protection Council is not taking it very low. We believe that we must rise to the occasion.
Okay, so it's not just going to be because we're celebrating World Consumers Day and is
Oh.
focused on fix our phone right, it's going to continue after now.
Well, certainly it's continuing. As a matter of fact, the DG from her inception has said she will go from sector to sector. We're going through the sectors. So it's not just because the World Consumer Rights Day is being organized and luckily the team falls in line with this sector. That's not just because, that's not just the reason. We are in the long haul for